Hello there, everybody. I'm Matthew Kessie. I'm a practical mystic, which means I have a superpower for helping you find meaningful connections in the natural world. Thank you for joining me today on this 20-minute journey into a nature connection in whatever way makes sense for you, where you're able to quiet your mind, keep present for self-awareness, and learn to make the future your friend. And I'm here in Deception Pass State Park in Washington State. It's the most visited state park in Washington for great reason. It's at the north end of Whidbey Island. It makes a great day trip from Seattle. And there's just an abundance of all kinds of ways to connect to the natural world. Now, if you're new to my YouTube channel, let me explain how this works. I find beautiful locations all over the world. Many of them are in the Pacific Northwest, which is where I'm from. I find these locations and I go deep into a magical altered state, we can call it, or really just spending a lot of time in these places until I come up with a theme that I think would be helpful in ways that nature can provide us with medicine, with goodness, with the vibes that we need to heal, to find peace in our lives, to embrace wellness and empowerment. When I come up with that theme, then I create the video for you to watch and to follow along with. That's how it works. I'm here in Deception Pass State Park, and I've been walking along this trail along the beach. It's in the woods, and I am just struck by all the aspects of wild nature here. So I think the theme today is wild nature and really exploring the wild nature within yourself. Because sometimes in daily life, we feel confined to doing what is required of us, what's asked of us, maybe just too tired to go beyond the box and have creativity or even new experiences perhaps. And this is an opportunity for you to join me in looking a little deeper within ourselves to understand what's wild about us. How might nature have some guidance for us today on the ways that we can embrace our wild nature? I invite you to join me for the next 20 minutes as we discover new ways, maybe we reinforce existing ways that we can keep true to our wild nature. Let's start out with a big deep breath in, a belly breath all the way down to your stomach. Breathe all the way in and breathe in all the goodness of this forest, all the goodness of the things in your life that make you strong. Take a big deep breath in, a big exhale, the things you don't need. It always brings me great joy to see rhododendron growing in the wild. In a Deception Pass State Park, you can see this in an abundance. It makes me happy because rhododendrons really stand for resilience for me because they grow pretty much in every continent except for Antarctica. All around the world, this species has been able to adapt everywhere to different climates, to different amounts of moisture, and there's a whole bunch of different varieties. So it reminds me not only of the beauty of the flowers that bloom, and there's one that's kind of on its way that we can see here maybe in a few more weeks. That will burst out into some color, maybe a color like the red on my shirt here. And what rhododendron really means for me is resilience. And so when I look at rhododendrons, I'm able to reflect back and ask myself, how am I resilient? How can I withstand changes gracefully? Just like this plant that has this beautiful leaf and also beautiful blooms in the springtime. I invite you to join me for reflection on this and opening up your heart and your mind and your spirit to the places where you are resilient, or maybe the places where there's an opportunity to be more resilient. Take a big deep breath in, feel the weight of your body. Big exhale out all the things you don't need for this work today. And open up to resilience as shown to you by the rhododendron. Another way this forest is talking to me is by offering symbols of death. And you see the fallen log behind me. And death or decay doesn't always have to be a negative tone, because sometimes there's things within us that if we allow to die, it creates fertilizer for new things to emerge. Maybe new skills, new love, new challenges that are fulfilling, new sense of purpose. And so in the forest, there's lots of examples of this. As trees like this one fall down, they become home for moss, as you see there, and for a lot of other things to start growing and living, organisms. And so this tree in its death is helping everyone else here in the forest. So I invite you to spend some time with this log, this nurse log, and opening up to what ways do you see that death can actually be a renewal for you in your life? Maybe providing new nutrients for growth, for expansion, and for making the future your friend. Take a big deep breath in, big exhale, feel the weight of your body, and let's open up to how the fallen trees in the forest can provide nutrients for new life. Look at the carpet of moss. That's one of the things I love about any forest, in particular the forests along the sea. Moss is soaking up everything. It's soaking up the moisture, the water, the drops of water that are raining on me right now. And moss also can inspire creativity. I invite you to join me for this section as we look at the moss and we open up and expand the creativity within us. How are you creative? How can you express yourself in the world? How do you express yourself in the world? Or maybe is there opportunity for more of this? And there's a bird singing with me. Take a big deep breath in, a big exhale, and feel your rootedness in this forest and open up to all the creativity within you in the way that this moss can help inspire that. No visit to a forest in the Pacific Northwest is complete without finding connection to a fern and a sword fern of all those things. The sword ferns are plentiful here, and a lot of times people walk by without even noticing, but they're built with lots of symbolism. Where are you too hard in your life? Where are you too hard on yourself, maybe? Where are you too sharp, maybe with others? Where are you really brilliant and you're just sharp? There's lots of ways to look at the sword fern, and I love it for doing this kind of nature immersion work because it gives you an opportunity to really tap into where you're at right now in this moment. Because sometimes you may see the sword fern and you think, oh, wow, yeah, I said something that was a little harsh in that meeting or to this friend. Or you can say, oh, I have ideas. I am sharp. So I invite you to join me for this section, working with the sword fern. In whatever way you find connection or whatever way makes sense for you right now in this moment, embrace that and open up to how are you like the sword fern. Remember, take a big deep breath in, big exhale, the things you don't need right now, and feel your roots in this forest as deep as the sword fern, which, by the way, they have very, very, very deep roots. Wow, Douglas fir trees always just take my breath away. They rise up to the top of the canopy because they are sun lovers. They are the ones that push their way to the top, and they have persistence. They're also age old, and they stand for wisdom. And so I invite you to join me for this section of this nature connection experience in really examining, looking within yourself, matching up to the tree, and really examining what ways are you wise? How are you strong? How are you strong like this tree that has deep roots, has a long, tall body, and branches that go up to the sun? How are you reaching for the sun? How are you wise in your life? Or where would you like to have more wisdom? Where would you like to have more power to reach the sun? And spend some time here with this tree. Remember to take in a big deep breath and exhale all the things you don't need for this exercise. Feel your roots going into the soil here at Deception Pass State Park. There are literally hundreds of symbols in any forest, particularly a forest in the Pacific Northwest, where there's such abundance of water that can feed all of these things. And by the way, water is a symbol for emotions, so there's emotion in the forest too. I want to leave you today reminding you that just 20 minutes a day, spending time immersing in nature, whether that's with the ferns, a tree, a plant at your house, 20 minutes a day is enough to make lasting changes in your life. Because what it does is it allows you to press reset for just 20 minutes in maybe a busy day and allow you at least the thought of quieting your mind, being present to self-awareness, and seeing the future as your friend. And as you do this over time, as you practice grounding every day doing something, it moves to lasting changes in you. Thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you down the road.